Chief Cadmus Delorme says the oral stories of Cowessess First Nation always spoke of unmarked graves here.
We know that our loved ones here, our ancestors are here.
A ground-penetrating radar search performed this month confirms it. Under those orange flags, lined up in rows, 1 meter by 1 meter apart.
As of yesterday, we have hit 751 unmarked graves. We cannot affirm that they are all children, but there are oral stories that there are adults in this gravesite as well.
The Marieval Indian Residential School and adjacent community cemetery were run by the Catholic Church from 1886 to the 1970s. The school closed in 1996.
They were putting us down as a people.
Elder Florence Sparvier, a former student and survivor of the school, isn't surprised by how this was left.
They made us believe we didn't have souls.
Some graves were originally marked. The church admits a priest removed gravestones in the 60s over a dispute with the community.
It was a terrible thing to do, which, given the history of residential schools and the pain and suffering that many survivors felt.
So, who's buried here? What records still exist? Were all burials even recorded? A 1936 school document outlines a protocol to report deaths. Was it always followed? The Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops says it will help find answers.
It's very disturbing. You have a lot of questions in your mind. And so we just want to get down to the bottom of it.
After the discovery of 215 graves in Kamloops, for non-Indigenous Canadians, another stark example of a shameful history willfully overlooked.
We all must put down our ignorance and accidental racism of not addressing the truth that this country has with Indigenous people.
For the community, that means putting a headstone on each one of those graves, but given the amount of time that's passed, it's unlikely they'll all bear a name.
And Cam, could there be more than what's been found there so far?
Well, at Cowessess, the numbers may fluctuate a bit due to review of the readings, but across the country, First Nations leaders are clear they expect to find more bodies on more sites. And tonight, many First Nations in honor of Cowessess aren't lowering their Canadian flags to half-mast. They're just taking them down entirely.
Okay, thanks, Cam.